Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey watching Darcey and Stacey on TLC. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor. Let's get to the show.
It's kind of easy to get paranoid by things when you've heard so many times in the past, but it's always conflict. It actually is killing me because I love her. What's going on? Why is he scared?
So, 2 thumbs up to Georgie. Physical contact, warmth, care, non-aggression, openness, open-ended questions. Definitely a good opener to resolving this, especially physical touch. I treat a lot of couples, and the couples on my couch who, when they fight, reach out to each other, hold hands, hug, or just hand on knee or something in a caring, warm way, it always bodes well for that couple. That ability to reach out when you're hurt or angry or frustrated, that ability to say, you know what, I want that connection. I want to reassure them that I'm here. The electricity that can flow between, I mean that metaphorically, between two people by that physical warmth is incredibly healing and regulating and helpful in situations like this.
For what?
I just really want to know things.
What do you want to know?
I don't want to waste.
Okay, great start for Darcey. I just want to know things. And then he says, okay, what do you want to know? And then she's like, I don't want to waste my time. It's like, okay, like why do you have to, you're curious about his past and you're worried that he's going to leave you. Okay. You know, why do you have to go to, I don't want to waste my time here. It's so destructive and he's been great. Okay. What do you want to know? Now, maybe we'll find out he has terrible things in the past that indicate that he's a D-bag. I don't know. Let's continue watching.
I want to know, always being honest and tell you the truth.
The way that you feel like you're in my world, I would like to know I am a part of your world a little bit more. How? I've been so upfront with you about everything in my life.
Me too.
Everything. No.
What I lie about?
And say it's a lie. I just don't know exactly everything about you 100%.
What do you want to know? I told you everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like tired of being like vulnerable all the time, Georgie.
All right, this is good. So Darcey is now at a crossroads where she's like, well, wait a second. What's going on with me right now? And she's like, I'm just tired of being vulnerable all the time. Okay, so that's good. We're going in the direction of attachment awareness, that she feels overly vulnerable, meaning that she's worried she's going to get hurt. I hope that she could go to that place. And then that gives a solution. If I'm worried that I'm going to be hurt, that gives me an idea of how to solve it, instead of being angry and accusatory towards him.
Things got carried away last night. There was drinks flowing. Things got heated. The feeling I have is utter embarrassment right now. I just hope I didn't ruin anything. You know, maybe I reacted a little too quickly. There's no excuse for that. And I did apologize to Georgie this morning, but I felt like he didn't really accept that apology. The last thing I wanted to do was push Georgie away.
All right, so this is good. She's taking responsibility for what she did, and she apologized. I don't know how that apology went, and she's saying that Georgie didn't seem to be that soothed very much by the apology. I suspect that if that's true, it's because Darcey said, I'm sorry, and I took it too far. I overreacted. But unless you can explain why you did it, then you run the risk of the other person saying like, well, it's probably going to happen again. And it already has happened many times. So you can really help to make an apology land well and have it be very soothing to the other person by having a lot of self-awareness and explaining that to the other person. Something like, so, you know, I've been hurt in the past, and any indication that you're going to hurt me, it's going to cause me to go through the roof. And you didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing you did wrong. Someone left a comment on your Instagram, and you know it just was a lightning bolt through my soul that caused me to have a lot of fears and a lot of pain. Had nothing to do with you. And I had a couple of drinks and I kept trying to suppress it, and then I got drunk and it all came out. And I'm working on it, I'm going to therapy, that would soothe someone more, right? Because the other person's like, oh, this person has a handle on it. There's a path forward. I get it. I understand now, blah, blah, blah. Instead of having a big blow up moment like that, and then the next day going like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I drank too much or something like that. It's not going to be very soothing, because the other person, Georgie's position, is going to be like, well, okay, I accept your apology, but I'm not reassured that this isn't going to happen again. I'm not reassured that you know how to stop this from happening in the future.
Right now, I feel a little uncomfortable with Georgie. I don't want him to feel any tension. I don't want to feel like I'm walking on eggshells, or I don't want to feel tense. I just want to breathe and know that everything's going to be okay in the end.
Right. So that's a good awareness. I'm terrified. I just want things to be okay. Now, what's the path forward to reducing that distress? What Darcey will do, and we've seen her over the many seasons, she does a number of different things. On one hand, we've seen her create drama and get upset and accuse. On the other hand, she will go to idealization and pathological optimism, instead of dealing with the ambiguity and saying, I don't know if things are going to be okay. Maybe he's a bad person, maybe he isn't. Maybe this relationship will work, maybe it won't. I just don't know. I really hope it works, but I don't know if it's going to work. And maybe some sadness is in our future. But I have enough love and security and self-esteem to get me through whatever is going to happen in the future. I don't think Darcey has that. I think she's been always surviving and always running forward, and has never actually had the time in therapy, through a corrective experience with a therapist, long-term therapy. I keep railing on the fact that I think she's only been to one session. Maybe she's been to more. Maybe she's had years of therapy prior to this season. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. But I'm not talking about just a few weeks. I'm talking about potentially years of therapy, where essentially a therapist that works relationally and works with transference, countertransference, interpersonal, intersubjective, psychodynamic, relational therapy, humanistic therapy, where over time you learn through the relationship with the therapist that you deserve love, that you're lovable, that other people can be trusted. Only through that experience do you have what we call earned security, where you actually have a working model of self, where you're a good person because someone treated you like you were a good person, that you believe you're lovable because someone treated you like you were lovable, and you believe other people can be trusted. Other people have a good heart. They have good intentions. Sometimes they make mistakes, but most of the time they're good, and I can trust. And when people say they love me, I can trust that, even though there's no direct evidence of that. We can only have good working models of self and good working models of others through experience. We can't convince ourselves of that. And what Darcey does as a shortcut to that constant survival mode that she's in, total speculation, I don't know, I'd have to ask her to find out if this makes sense to her, is again, she either attacks or she idealizes. Because through idealization, she can say, well, everything's perfect, he's perfect, 110% this is going to work out, I know it. How can she know that? There's just no way to, there's a part of her that absolutely knows she can't know that. And then when that doesn't work and there's some worries, boom, it's accusation and anger. And in the past with Jesse would get involved in that too, because I think he had very similar attachment traumas that Darcey has. And so they would both very much trigger each other in this moment. With Tom, I think he had a different kind of relational trauma. He seemed to be more of the sort that he wasn't given enough love and attention to figure out who he was and what he wanted. And he had a kind of distance, an avoidance of emotion and of relationships and vulnerability. And so as she would accuse, he would pull away. But I think he also liked that because it helped him to get some contact with someone, because as she chased him, even through aggression, it felt like, oh, she really needs me, and that feels good. So I don't. That's a common dynamic that can happen to people. I don't know. I'd have to ask Tom about that. But with Georgie, he seems to be the most healthy. Now, again, I don't know. Maybe he's a total D-bag, and we'll find out, I guess, as time goes on. And maybe I'll know because you actually follow the tabloids on the internet, but I don't know. But thus far, he has proven himself to not be like Jessie and not be like Tom, in that when she creates that drama, he seems to be okay with it. He doesn't. There is an effect, though, in this scene. He seems to be giving the silent treatment, that passive aggression through being distant. That's an avoidant attachment thing to do. But it's, on the scale of things, a lot less dysfunctional than behavior we've seen in our partners in the past. So let's get back to this one.
I feel like he won't even communicate with me, so how can we even fix anything?
Oh, this feels so good.
Why you wanted to kiss me? No.
Yeah, so it's hard to know exactly what's happening in the scene, but I've seen this before, in that he is pulling away. She feels bad, but I'm guessing she still has anger and still is not sure about things. He woke up in the morning and he's just like, oh, that was really hurtful. I'm not used to communicating my hurt feelings. If I say something, it's just going to create drama and conflict, so I'll just shut down because that's easier. I'm used to that, and I can preserve some self-esteem. And maybe through that, she will learn that what she did last night can't happen again. That's usually what's going on in these people's minds. I don't know. He seemed to be kind of communicating that when they were interviewing him, as an aside. But a lot of avoidant attached people, when they're hurt and they want to communicate, hey, you hurt my feelings, they will pull away, hoping that you will realize, oh, he's pulling away from me. That must mean that he's upset. That must mean that I hurt his feelings. That must mean I need to stop doing what I did in the past. That isn't usually how it's interpreted. It's usually interpreted as hurtful to the preoccupied people of the world, like Darcey. I don't know if she's preoccupied, but if she was, in her position, it just feels like more hurt and more fear of like, oh my God, he's really pulling away from me. I've screwed things up. Okay, I need confirmation that he loves me. And so you saw her move in and say, you ready to kiss me? Kind of implies maybe he hasn't kissed her yet today. I don't know. And she's looking for some indication. It's a bid of, do you love me? Or do you like me? Are you still excited about me? What's going on? But that's not really what the communication, that's not really what she's saying. What on the outside, what she's saying on the outside is, are you ready to kiss me? So there's a little bit of a passive aggression there of, you're being a dick right now by not kissing me. There's that kind of angle. And please kiss me, So, and then from him, you saw him with his behavior of like, he puckered, but he didn't, that's all he did. He didn't put any effort. What she was hoping was, of course, kiss me. And he grabs her and then they feel better. But of course, he's still hurt. He's still upset. And he wants to communicate that. But he's having a hard time at that, so he's just like, okay, fine, I'll give in a little bit, but I want to make her suffer a little bit longer. It's usually not a conscious choice. It's usually like, because of their upbringing, they just don't know any other way of communicating their hurt and fears other than to be in the silent treatment. And there's usually like a span of time of just like, well, I still feel like she needs to understand how, it's kind of an unconscious calculation of like, okay, she was this annoying and hurtful to me last night, so I'm going to give her this amount of silent treatment, which, that's probably like 24 hours, 48 hours of silent treatment. And then I'll be okay after that. Then she'll know how serious of what she did to me, instead of being upfront about it and not pushing her away. So let's continue watching.
I think I'm just gonna go for a little walk, just to clear my mind.
Okay. Maybe did I do something?
Maybe he just needs some space, Darcey. Give him some space.
Yeah, it's very much looking like that. So maybe with this walk, he can become more differentiated and go, okay, what's going on with me right now? Okay, I need to say this. I need to get this off my chest.
And she still don't trust me. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's not my fault. People like me and send me some emojis and fires and stuff like that, but she always bring the past and my marriage or some little stupid comments in my pictures.
All right, so this is good. Hopefully this will be a functional triangulation. Florian's being triangulated in. So what am I looking for from Florian? Well, at the very least, just listen. Don't comment. Don't try to fix. That would be a good approach. Maybe another healthy approach would be like, well, what's a way that you could communicate your feelings to Darcy? Okay, that would be healthy triangulation because he's being asked to, participate in the conflicts between Georgie and Darcy. A dysfunctional way that I could imagine going for Florian is, well, Darcy, she's crazy. And, if you're going to be with her, this is going to happen all the time, okay? Because Florian has a problem with Darcy. Or, well, let me fix it. I'll go to Darcy and I'll explain things and try to take over the situation. That would probably also not be a good idea. So let's see how Florian reacts.
I don't know, like...
Bro, I'm thinking you please don't need to bring the past every second to push you, I understand? I know the family stays for 5 years, the twins for 5 years. You see, you need to be patient. I understand Darcy have the past bad, no so good, and you need to be patient and everything in this world. You try the best.
All right. So, English isn't his first language. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to go, but it was still a little overly pushy to him of, Georgie, just be patient. Don't worry about it. That kind of thing. Suppress your emotions, Just let it go, that kind of message. I don't think that's healthy or helpful or appreciated to Georgie, but it's not terrible.
One day maybe I propose to her, she's gonna change, she's gonna trust me more, she see I'm more serious about her.
I'm thinking you propose to Darcy, probably think more...
More serious about her?
Yeah, more...
She gonna trust me more?
Well, yeah, 100% you propose. I'm thinking it's gonna... You feel in your heart something for Darcy, you can do it.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I need a little bit more time to make the decision to propose to her. Or not.
Oh, everything be good. Positive.
It's interesting to hear Florian's help with Georgie is he's just saying, be positive, everything's going to be fine, don't worry about it, be patient. It's interesting that he has that reaction because I think that's indicative of other things we've seen from him thus far is just be positive, everything, calm down, everything's fine. I think he actually has, Florian, I think he actually has a fair amount of anxiety when there is emotion in the world. I think it's somehow threatening to him. Maybe he has some traumas around that. I don't know. And a lot of his message is like, calm down, be patient, everything's fine, don't talk so much. All right, well, that does it for that episode in which we watched the show and reacted to it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.